Okay, hi, Shola here. And I wanted to wrap up this week with a suggestion that a viewer gave, which is to begin each video talking about the big ideas. So for me, the common link between each video are these three big ideas: hashtag BDAD, hashtag SFA, hashtag KPIs matter, right? And every day I propel myself to focus on a question of the day, which, if it's a big enough task, is also an overarching question of the week, of the month, and of the quarter, right? So let me begin by talking about what exactly these three hashtags stand for, right? So SFA stands for Sales Funnel Anatomy. Think focus here. Hashtag BDAD stands for Build Digital Assets Daily. And the whole idea is that to use the power of repetition to get consistency, making sure that every day, consider the fact that every day you're consuming some content online and you're downloading, so you need to be producing and uploading, okay? And the third big idea is this notion that KPIs matter, right? That what you measure improves, all right? And yeah, don't worry about that right there. Just if I were to go here and just say, okay, um, key KPI stands for, as you probably know, key, all right, performance. Okay, indicator, all right. And so the whole idea is that you do the work of um, compelling yourself, forcing yourself to focus on a key metric. Okay. So for me, I'm really thinking about the top of the funnel, and I'm just been tracking over the course of the past several days and the past 50 or so days where I've been doing this every day. CTA tracks. Okay. CTA clicks rather. CTA just stands for cost per. Um, um, yeah, CTA stands for um, call to action. Okay, so let me just dive in really quickly to discuss this whole idea of sales funnel now and anatomy. So let's just think about what's happening here is that we're pulling a key big principle from biology, which is anatomy, right? And anatomy is like the branch of science concerned with the bodily structure of humans or animals or living things, but we can also extend that to the structure of inanimate things, right? So, as an example, if you think about a sales funnel as a structure, right? You want to know what are the main parts of that sales funnel. And every day you want to focus yourself on thinking through how how does what I'm working on at this particular hour or minute or even second relate to the key anatomy of a sales funnel, right? So if I were to ask you to put together and take apart a sales funnel, which is what you need to do when you launch a sales funnel, and initially your earnings per click or your revenue per visitor isn't what you want it to be, 9 out of 10, 99 percent out of 100 funnels, especially if you're using paid traffic, when you launch them initially, you're not getting the ideal results. So you need to be able to, just like if you were creating a car from scratch with your hand and you take it out of the um, garage, if it doesn't work, you need to be able to go inside and pick it apart and figure out what's uh, um, wrong with it. And that's just another way of another explanation for what optimization is. All right. I think this is such a key analogy for thinking about sales funnels. And if you want to use a different phrase from sales funnels, you can also say customer acquisition campaigns, right? Like the end result of a sales funnel should be in goes website visitors, out comes customers, right? In goes clicks, out comes revenue. Well, the same thing goes for like sales funnel, customer acquisition campaign are the same. You input like time, money, and the 14 parts of the sales funnel, and out should come customers and sales. So every day I begin the day by thinking through these big three ideas? Am I focused on understanding the big picture, which is the 14 core points that I've identified, parts, if you will, components of a sales funnel, right? Am I making sure that I am building digital assets daily? Sidebar is one of the 14 components of the sales funnel is content, right? Or the or creatives. And so when you're building digital assets, you are working on two of the 14 components. And the last thing is you must measure, okay, your KPIs. It's insanely easy to spend a lot of time on the internet and feel busy, but and even feel tired because you feel like you're out of work. But at the end of the day, if it didn't move, if you invested 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hours, it didn't move your KPIs in any way, then that is a way to not lie to yourself, right? You just have to augment what you're doing. So just in terms of where I am right now, like these are the five big ideas that are top of mind for me. So the first one is that I'm doing some A/B split testing now to identify uh, a natural selling market for a new venture that I'm working on. Okay, the natural selling market. I talked about this before, but this is basically the group of people that really resonate with you. Okay, they not only have the problem that you are keenly good at solving, but they just like your style. Okay, the then identifying the 80/20 unmet need for the target audience. One tip right here is the use of the tip is the use of jobs to be done. All right, methodology. Okay, the next one is what I call the ACF times C3 equation, right? And so what does that look like? Well, essentially, just to move this up a bit, when we think about the fact that um, there are three types of content that you want to think about, content and creatives. I separate content as in text and from creatives, which are videos or audios, right? Some might even throw code into the creatives category. Okay. And the first phase is the awareness phase, right? Just gaining visibility. The second phase is the conversion. All right. And then the third phase is fulfillment. So now you've gotten their attention, you've converted them to a customer, and now you have to have content to fulfill the promise that you made during the sales presentation, whether that was one on one or whether that was you to a consumer to a sales video or a sales letter, all right, or even audio, all right. And then the next thing is thinking through like driving daily traffic to the first TOFU webpage. So really, right now, all I'm focused on is am I uh, am I honed in on the right target audiences, and do I clearly understand their have I gathered enough and you've probably heard me talk about this before, demographic, geographic, psychographic, and behavioral first party data, right? Uh, and jobs to be done. If you have any questions about what this is, just Google it, all right? And then the fifth thing is that just reviewing my daily analytics to just measure the main KPI. As the famous Peter Drucker uh, said, management guru, what gets measured gets improved. So every day, I just want to make sure my mind is focused on even this process right here might take another 30 days, right? Till I get to the point where I know, okay, these three or four, some might call it customer avatars, other people call it target audiences. Okay, I know what these target audiences are, and I know what messages really resonate with them. Um, Sidebar is that on another video, I'll walk through a list of 10 questions that Dan Kennedy suggests that you be able to answer when it comes to what you know about your target audiences, right? And then have I gathered that data to the point where, okay, now I know what their unmet needs are. I know about their demographics, their geographics, their psychographic, and their behavioral data. I've done that research. And now I'm ready to build a solution based upon my unique understanding of their needs. And then I can go and create content and creatives for each phase of the interaction with the prospect. or website visitor, okay? However you want to look at it, okay? The awareness / visibility phase, the conversion phase, and the fulfillment phase, all right? And then every day I'm just making sure I'm measuring. I have an action that's driving distribution, all right? And I'm distributing the message and putting it in front of the right people as much as possible. And then I'm measuring the um, effectiveness of my distribution actions and my content creation actions and my data collection actions. In fact, you want to just think through each one of these as what is the core action. And I really cannot stress enough the importance of focusing on mastery of the skill, not of the end result, right? So if you put in enough time um, doing the jobs to be done methodology and doing the research, all right, then the end result, if you put in more repetitions, then the end result is going to be that you're going to understand the unmet needs of your target audiences more than the alternatives on the market, all right? If you put in enough repetition working on content and creatives for the three phases of um, awareness, conversion, and fulfillment, then C3 is what I think of as content, okay, creatives, and call to action, right? You must have content, creatives, and call to actions for each three phases of the sales prospect, okay? And then if you put in enough repetitions driving traffic, and then ultimately measuring the results of your distribution activities, you are going to be in a position where you've put in more repetition than the alternatives in the marketplace, the alternative sellers. So your results should reflect that. Okay. All right. This is Shola. I hope this finds you well. Okay. Take care and take action. And as I said, I'm all about the four P's: prosperity, passion, profitability, productivity, and profitability. Okay, take good care.